Hello and welcome to the Green Collider Masterclass webinar. My name is Carina Posch and I'm working at the non-profit association Auxilium in Austria, who is a partner organization in the Green Collider project. Today, I will be your host with the kind assistance of my colleagues. This webinar is part of the Erasmus Plus project Green Collider and its first project result, the Green Collider Masterclass. We start our webinar series with Module 1 of the Green Collider Masterclass, which focuses on the topic Pillars of Sustainable Thinking and Circular Economy. The module has been developed by our project coordinators at the University of the Peloponnese in Greece, who will take over the moderation in a second. Today, we have 4 experts with us who will present interesting keynotes about sustainability and the importance of green skills, water footprint in manufacturing industries, and the emerging need and significance of soft skills in SMEs. If you have any questions to our keynote speakers, please write them in the chat and we will bring them to their attention when they have finished their keynote. So, Vicky, the floor is yours.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's masterclass. My name is Vicky Telharaj, and I'm a political scientist and a researcher in the University of Peloponnese regarding the Green Collider project. Green Collider is a European project which aims to bridge the gap between SMEs and VT providers in the field of sustainable thinking. We have 6 participating countries in this project. We have Greece, Italy, Spain, Slovenia, Hungary, and Austria. And I really hope that we have participants from each country today. Our university during the last months has created a training material regarding green skills and sustainable thinking. And our goal today is to explore the potential of green skills, as well as good practices in this field. For this reason, we have invited today's speakers to introduce us to this subject. Our first speaker is Professor Athanassios Katsis, Rector of the University of Peloponnese and Professor of Statistics and Education at the Department of Social Educational Policy. His presentation concerns the pillar of sustainable thinking and the role of our university in the development of skills and competencies. So, Professor Katsis, you may start with your presentation if you're ready.
Thank you, Vicky. Let me share the screen. I take it that you see the full screen now, okay? I will be providing a few ideas about our policies and our actions on developing green skills and sustainable thinking in our university. And it's my pleasure that both me and the university is participating and coordinating this project. So let's say a few things. Now, I'm trying to have I'm talking about sustainable development and climate change. And first of all, I am introducing a few things about the notion of sustainable development, which is not just maybe climate change, or some people may think about this, but it's also a more general, and more holistic approach, which involves many concepts. Of course, it's a long-term perspective, and various ideas and disciplines are integrated. And you can see in the left-hand side of the screen some very important thinkings that should be always coming along with the climate change and sustainable development. You have not only climate change, but you have also the elimination of hunger and no poverty. We have the development of good health. We have gender equality. Education, of course, plays an important role. We have a clean energy and clean water. We have work and economic growth. We have innovation in industry, reducing inequalities, maintaining sustainable cities and communities. Consumption and production should be at a responsible level. climate action and life below water, of course, would be playing this idea a lot. Life on land, peace, justice, and strong institutions, along with partnerships, should be all integrating and coming along in order to have what we call a holistic approach to sustainable development. Now, what is the mainstay, or should be the mainstay of the past, is the linear economy, where we produce, we consume, and then we waste. And that's something that has not been fully replaced yet, but we do hope that this will be gradually becoming a thing of the past. So linear economy keeps this line of production, consumption, and then wasting. Now, let's try to be a bit more complex in our thinking, but more fruitful. As you can see, we'll be moving to the circular economy idea, which has this graph depicting circular economy on the left-hand side, where we manufacture, we consume, and then we recycle. And then this recycling comes back as manufacturing, consumption, and so on and so forth. So we give here a description of what a circular economy should be. So it is, we restore, we regenerate, and we utilize again. And the idea is to eliminate, or to have it at a very small level, chemicals, and we have also the concept of managing waste. So all this, it's more complex, but at the end of the day, should be what is best for us, for our long-term idea of our society. We manufacture, we consume, we recycle, and then all of it again, in order to have less chemicals and an effective way of managing waste. Now, some idea of some principles, some guidelines of circular economy. As I said, it's a model of sustainable economic development. We have new ways of producing and consuming goods, and we have to focus on extending the life of the product, reuse it, and recycle it. So some of the basic principles, we see that we have to have use of renewable sources. We have waste planning in the most effective way, as we said before. And we also have to keep in mind that waste does contain nutrients. And all this has to be built through diversity, through involving and keeping involved various parts of our society. So diversity is a social concept that plays an important role in maintaining and extending circular economy. Now, how do we implement circular economy? At least trying to describe this. It has to be applied at every stage, from production to consumption, and then the recycling part. In waste management, and when other raw materials are entering the economy. So we have the production as the initial point. And then we do have planning for the methods. And then we have for the production methods. And then when we enter the consumption, we have another phase where we manage the waste that is produced. And then we try to have this extension of the life cycle of this circle. So we have producing, we have planning, we have consuming, and we have management in order of the waste, in order to have an extension of this life cycle. So the idea is not just to have a circular economy, but to extend this cycle in terms of time as much as possible. extension is also important in order to be able to fully integrate and incorporate a circular economy in our society. I will give one example of good practices that we spotted in Athens. We have the municipality of Vari Vula Liakmeni, which is an area that I ask you to visit when you are in Athens. It's a suburb of Athens, and they have a lot of effort. They put a lot of effort in maintaining and improving good practices of circular economy, where they reuse biodegradable waste as soil improvement, and they have organic certification, and they use it in nurseries and in crops. They do this with the collaboration of the private sector and of the University of Athens, Department of Chemistry. So what they do there, they reuse actually the biodegradable waste, and they improve the soil, making it more fertile. Since this is a suburb, an urban place in Athens, this was by no means something given. And in terms of innovation, it is a good, a new, and very fruitful practice. Now, what are the benefits for this? We have some financial benefits because the burial costs and the revenue have been decreased. Also, the citizens of this place have benefited because they gain some part of soil additive to use it for their own purposes, for their own gardens. And of course, the most important, I would think, is that we have over 12,000 tons of waste that have been managed. And this, as a whole, benefits not only the society at large, but also its and many of the citizens feel individually the benefit of this initiative. So in terms of common good and individual benefit, everyone feels that they have gained something, and this is important in order to have a policy implemented and maintained. Now, let's talk about training and the need for having green skills. We have seen before that the circular economy is important. We saw a case of a good practice, but let's see what CEDEFOP has to say about the green skills. They can be defined as the knowledge, the ability, the values to have develop and support a society which is sustainable, resource efficient. And of course, they are important in order to have the necessary workforce in order to have at some point a lower carbon economy and a faster green transition, and generally to have a positive impact in society. So all these ideas are important, but what is more important is develop green skills in order to have these concepts applied in a better way, applied in a more efficient way, and applied in a more general setup. So vet training for green skills. We have the role of professionals, vet professionals, in guiding SMEs, mostly SMEs, in incorporating solutions and assisting in the adaptation of the curriculum into the SMEs' specific needs. I would think that these two ideas go hand in hand. SMEs sometimes do not have the capacity, the knowledge, or they're not so much inclined to incorporate innovative solutions. People tend to do things as they have done it in the past sometimes. So vet professionals play an important role in making sure that the curriculum could be and should be and would be adapted in each SME specific needs. So they also help SMEs gain specific benefits, as we saw before with the case in this urban place in Greece, in Athens. SMEs can gain some significant specific benefits, improving the productivity, reducing costs, of course, having more, being more competitive, having a better brand recognition, and of course, forging new alliances and new partnerships. It's very important that vet trainers will focus on each SME in a more specific way, not in a very general way, in order to gain each SME gain specific advantages if it is to apply green skills. And of course, this will result in policy changes. We have to develop, they have to develop incentives for increasing cooperation between SMEs and vet trainers and exchange of knowledge. So the role of the vet professionals will lead to the identifying green skills within the SMEs, and hopefully this will result in concrete policy changes in order to build stronger partnership between SMEs and vet professionals. Now, in terms of education, because education and training should be focusing on all this. We have, and they have been developed in general, but in our place, we have postgraduate programs, master's programs in topics that pertain to green skills, as technology and quality of table olives and olive oil. Olive oil in the Peloponnese area, and especially in the area of Kalamata, is a very important part of the local economy. And we have also another master's program in environment, agriculture, and soilless culture. So this is a new topic. These are new topics rapidly coming up and attracting a lot of attention. And also we have undergraduate programs attracting more than 300 students each year in the Department of Agriculture and the Department of Food Science and Nutrition. All these have been attracting good students, and they have high enrollment rates, and people do get jobs and do get professional opportunities immediately after they finish their degrees. So in our university, we feel that this is a very important up and coming sector that will be investing. We are investing and will be investing very much so. And of course, we have more than 10, I think quite a few, more than 10 research programs based on sustainability. And we give some of the names there, some of the acronyms. Our strategic plan is to have education, to have research, as we said before, and all this should be linked into the globalization, into internationalization. Our university is a part of a new joined recently the University Alliance project of UNIS, which constitutes of 10 universities all across Europe, and mostly regional universities. And they are also very much interested in involving and evolving the idea of green skills. So UOP, as well as its alliance of European universities, have been focusing on globalizing and internationalizing the idea of green skills. Now, some targets that we have, more specific targets that we are working on. We have to connect and bridge education and labor market. This is done through some conferences and most importantly, I would say, with the support of career office and career advisors. Students, especially undergraduate students, feel the need to have a more personal and more individual approach with the career officer and the career advisor in order to gain knowledge of what green skill and what investing in a labor market of green skills will mean for their career. They do not know quite a few of these things. They are quite not ignorant, but they don't have all the dots connected for what this means for their own career. So we have to make sure that they understand the value of labor market for their own career. This is done also with internship. Our internship program has gained steam again after a hiatus of a couple of years due to pandemic and Erasmus mobility. And of course, we form our study programs, especially our undergraduate study programs, in collaborating with chambers, professional bodies, graduates, and sectors of the labor market. We do feel quite confident that this will result into having more skills penetrating and being part of our undergraduate programs. We cooperate with institutions and, of course, with the development of lifelong learning seminars in our lifelong learning center. So this is a project, concept that takes on from the undergraduate students to the lifelong learning center, and at each step, at each form, we would like to be able to emphasize that this is something valuable not only to the greater society, to the greater good, but to its students' own professional benefit. A few numbers. We have more than 400 undergraduate students currently participating in internships. We have quite a few, more than 140, I think it's more than 150 by now, research projects. Our faculty staff have been reaching close to 400 by now. And we have research units and centers dedicated to skill development and exploitation of research. All these are also involved in green skill development, but maybe sometimes in a more specific concept, because they do not all have green skills as at the forefront of their work. But at every project, this is something that we would like to have it in our processes. Now, in terms of research projects, as you can see, we collaborate with businesses, the private sector, and the public institutions. The darker blue represents the public institutions. Around 60% collaborations come from the public sector, and around 40% comes from the private sector. So we have a good mix of public and private sector interplay, and this is important because in Greece, the public sector is something which is quite dominant. So having a 40% approximately presence of the private sector is more than the average, I would say. And this is beneficial for everyone. some types of SMEs collaborating with our university. You see agriculture, you see in the healthcare, you see in business administration, in food science, in telecommunication, and speech and language therapy, which is gaining steam. Okay. You see the numbers there, but you also see the wide range of activities covering the SMEs cooperating with our university, and we do hope to add more there and to increase the percentages of other sectors. And we have events connecting the departments of the university with businesses in the private sector. Of course, as a university, we do have mostly conferences, seminars, visits, but workshops, competitions are also important. Keep in mind that this is right after the pandemic, and sometimes it's not easy to do it. People feel a bit contained, but they are important in people in bringing together our society, our community with business institutions and the private and public sector. Some initiatives, more specific initiatives that we are currently undertaking. In terms of innovation, we have developed and finished actually the implementation and the development of the technology transfer and innovation unit and the entrepreneurship hub. And we are actually one of the first universities in Greece that will be developing spin-off companies based on our research results. This is due to a new law in Greece that allows this to happen. And we are in the initial stages of developing not only startups, but especially spin-offs, gaining the experience and the results of our research production into for commercial use. We have a teaching and learning center and a long life learning center as a part of our training. And of course, we have a connection and ties to the SMEs through the liaison office and the internship office. Internship office has been always very popular in every university, but for students, especially undergraduate students, they feel it as something very important. These are some of the projects that we have been developing, very few of those, in terms of skill development, cooperation with SMEs, because in Greece, for example, SMEs is not just a big part of our economy, but it's by far the biggest, the most dominant force, the most dominant sector of our economy. So in Greece, around, I don't know, 90% of our economy evolves around SMEs. So as you can see, there are a few projects there. You can look up the names there, that we are in green skills and skill development in cooperation with SMEs. So I stop here. I have to thank you for your attention. Few conclusive remarks that developing green skills and connecting with SMEs into our community is a work in progress, but a work in progress that has been improving, has been giving us benefits, and is something that our policy and our strategy is to develop it even further in the upcoming years. Thank you again.
Thank you, Professor Katsis. It was a very insightful presentation and a really good opportunity for all of us to see the role of our university in skills development. Now I think it's time to proceed with some questions from the audience. Carina, do we have any question for Professor Katsis?
At the moment, we don't have any questions, but for anyone in the audience, please feel free to continue to use the chat function. If any question arises on the way, you can still ask your question later on. We will have time in the end as well. So no questions right now. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So we can proceed with the next speaker, Ms. Ioanna Nydrioti, who is going to make a presentation about the water footprint in manufacturing industries, which may be a tool towards water circularity. Ms. Nydrioti is a PhD candidate at the Department of Chemical Engineering of the National Technical University of Athens. She is also a member of the roster of experts of the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, and a member of the body of knowledge of water scarcity in Southern Europe of the AIT Climate Geek. Ms. Nydrioti, you may start with the presentation if you're ready.
Thank you, Vicky, for the introduction. I'm very glad to be in this workshop, in this webinar. May I share my screen? Can you see my screen? It's okay? Yes. Okay. Following the very insightful presentation of Professor Katsis, let's explore some tools to enable us evaluate sustainability in industry as a water footprint. The content of my presentation is to shape water sustainability in the manufacturing industry.
I'm really sorry to interrupt. We cannot see your presentation. We can see your
really?
PowerPoint window.
Okay, let me try again. No worries. Now?
Yes, perfect. Thank you. Please continue.
Okay, perfect. So I will present water sustainability in manufacturing industry and what does it mean. The water footprint as an environmental pressure indicator, the focus of water footprint in industrial contexts, the application of the indicator in a brewery case study, and how to follow a water footprint assessment framework and its impact and scalability, but also how these indicators could be useful as environmental marketing drivers, especially in manufacturing industries. Okay, let's explain a little bit what is water sustainability in the manufacturing industry. As many of you know, industrial ecosystems are rapidly required to comply with the principles of sustainable development, mainly focusing on broad water accounting and impact assessment in production and distribution through annual or semestrial integrated reporting. Okay, sorry. Yeah. Also, they require to manage their water and wastewater streams and reduce their freshwater consumption and wastewater generation. As Professor Katsis presented also, this reporting and management has to be compliant with the Sustainable Development Goals proposed by the United Nations, which set the directions on corporate and industrial sustainability. And these are the 4 SDGs that are focused on water management in industry. So water footprint can enable industries to move towards this direction on sustainability as an environmental pressure indicator. Water footprint is a multidimensional indicator of volumetric use and pollution of water. It can be evaluated for a process, a product, a sector, or an entire company. It includes both direct and indirect water use, for example, through the water needed for energy consumption. And it refers to the full production cycle from the supply chain to the end user. As you can see, the water footprint was initially suggested for crops and national consumption water evaluation in 2002. Then after 5 years, improved nation water accounts were published, including animal and industrial products. And then the production perspective received increased attention in order to expand the water footprint in the context of limited water availability per area. And still, the indicator is progressing, mainly focused now on industrial processes and supply chain management. So let's focus on industrial water footprint. Industrial water footprint is the total volume of fresh water used directly and indirectly to produce products and services, and is expressed as the volume of fresh water used per year. Actually, it comprised of two main components: the operational water footprint, which refers to the water footprint of the industrial process of production unit in terms of manufacturing and packaging, and the supply chain water footprint, which is the water footprint of the raw materials used in the production line. Actually, supply chain thinking in sustainability is quite emerging in all industrial plants and industrial branches nowadays. So each component, operational water footprint and supply chain water footprint, are comprised of three components: blue water footprint, green water footprint, and gray water footprint. Blue water footprint refers to the fresh water consumption in the production process or in the life cycle of raw materials. Green water footprint on rainwater consumption in the production process or in the cultivation of raw materials if the raw materials are produced through agriculture. And gray water footprint, which refers to water pollution caused during manufacturing operations or production of raw materials. Through industrial water footprint assessment, industries can better understand and manage the distribution of water in all their processes, make timely decisions regarding water management in each unit, cooperate with the appropriate suppliers so that they can assure that the supply chain water footprint is minimized, and interact effectively with the local communities in terms of water pressure through the industrial activities. In this slide, you can see the main industrial branches that have large water footprints is the food and beverage industry, the textiles industry, and cosmetics and biochemicals. These industries consume large water quantities in their production lines and need a lot of irrigation water for their crops, it's a critical raw material for these industries. Also, in Greece, sustainable water management is essential, as food and beverage and cosmetics industry have a large share of the market in Greece, and the most production plants are located in water scarce areas. So I will analyze more a brewery case study, meaning the application of the water footprint assessment in a brewery plant in Greece, and the impact of this assessment for this case study. As many of you know, large water quantities are needed for beer production and cleaning of the processes, and wastewater with high organic load is produced. Water is also critical raw material for beer production, and its quality is very important for the product. So breweries need to evaluate water performance and impacts on local water scarcity and pollution in the context of ESG, integrated reporting, and their financial growth. Also, consumers choose their products based on sustainability, focusing on water, mainly through water footprint labels, so that they can make comparisons between water-related sustainability practices in breweries. In terms of research, there is a lack of a common water footprint accounting framework for breweries, leading to lack of quantified indicators for water use and its impacts, and poor evaluation of water-intense processes and water-saving actions in an industry. Here you can see a graph of the applied water footprint assessment framework for this type of case study. As I mentioned before, initially, the water consumed for irrigation of the supply chain is accounted. In the brewery, mainly water is consumed in barley cultivation. Then the water footprint of the production is accounted in terms of water is abstracted to meet water demands in an industry. So fresh water is used in the manufacturing processes, and also fresh water is used for cleaning of the process, which is essential in beer production. In these networks, also water losses are occurring and need to be accounted in the framework. Then, mainly from the cleaning of manufacturing processes, wastewater is generated and is leading to the wastewater treatment plan of the industrial unit, through which it's treated, and reclaimed water can be reused in cleaning or in manufacturing processes with low requirements in water quality. Also, this process could lead to water footprint labeling in products for sustainability branding of the company, and also for enabling consumers make more sustainable and conscious choices. How the framework was applied. Initially, the methodology and the prototype of the framework for assessing blue, green, and gray water footprint was developed, based, of course, on the state-of-the-art methodology, breweries' production processes and needs, and, of course, breweries' ESG targets. Then we gathered some data from the breweries, mainly water consumption data per process and wastewater generation data. Also, estimations are used where water meters are not installed, because it's necessary from the framework to have as much data as you can. And the outputs of the framework are blue, green, and gray water footprint for every production process, and estimations of the total water footprint of the plant. Also, through the application of this framework, we managed to identify water-intense processes and make customized suggestions for water footprint reduction. The impact and scalability of water footprint assessments and the indicator as a standalone sustainability indicator is to evaluate blue, green, and gray water footprint of each process of the production, supporting essentially integrated reporting and internal ESG KPIs, identifying water-intense processes and for example, deploy some water savings actions. Also, it's worth mentioning that in the framework where water is used in process, the water footprint is 0. And of course, production plans through this framework can identify how much water they save with the current water saving practices, which is not also always profound. Also, we propose 9 customized water and wastewater management suggestions for water footprint reduction, and in parallel, minimizing operational costs as less water is needed for production. This framework could be a benchmark for all breweries with 90% compatibility, and it introduced innovation and sustainability branding through water footprint product labeling. How water footprint can be effective as an environmental marketing driver? Well, several studies have investigated consumers' behavior, showcasing that consumers become more aware and willing to prefer environmental friendly products. So they are willing to pay a little extra price for sustainable products. Water footprint labels, like the concept of carbon footprint labels widely known, could help consumers in making more conscious choices and the companies in promoting effectively their sustainable profile. As I mentioned before, the water footprint label includes the total volume of fresh water used to produce a product, virtual water hidden in the products, and supply chain water that's not accounted in most certification stewardship already in the market. To conclude, water footprint of agricultural products is thoroughly studied. However, very limited availability of data and assessments are introduced for industrial processes and products. Using industrial water footprint, increased water consumption spots and water recycling potential can be identified with significant environmental and financial impacts on the production and consumers' behavior. Also, data availability from industries is crucial for the assessment to have solid results. Water footprint labels could give consumers immediate information on water consumption and allow them to make comparisons between products and possibly choose products with a low water usage. And also, of course, companies can also benefit from the labels so that they can promote effectively their sustainable profile in a more effective and climate-oriented way. So summarizing my presentation, I think water footprint could be important green indicator on how production can be more sustainable related to water. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your presentation. It was very interesting to see young researchers in this field of expertise. Carina, can we see if we have any questions for Ms. Nydrioti?
At the moment, we don't have any questions in the chat.
Okay, thank you. So we can proceed to our final speakers, Mr. Vassilis Karagiannopoulos and Dr. Konstantinos Eptaimeros, who will make a joint presentation about the emerging need of significance of soft skills in SMEs. Mr. Karagiannopoulos holds a degree in public relations and corporate communication. He is a certified neuro-linguistic programming coach and has more than 10 years of professional experience in the corporate sector in Greece as an HR trainer and an account manager. He is also the founder of the F-Mind, which is a company that offers targeted solutions in issues relating growth, behavioral flexibility, and managing pressure, stress, and crisis. Dr. Eptaimeros is the co-founder of the F-Mind. He holds a PhD in mechanics by the National Technical University of Athens. He is also a certified neuro-linguistic programming coach. In his research capacity, he has worked as a postdoctoral researcher in the Institute of Applied and Computational Mathematics of the Foundation for Research and Technology in Crete, as well as at the School of Applied Mathematical and Physical Sciences of the NTUA. Mr. Karagiannopoulos and Mr. Eptaimeros, you can start with your presentation if you're ready.
Yes, hello. Can you all hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
All right. It seems that my background is not cooperating, right?
Oh, it's okay, no problem.
All right. Okay, let me just share my screen so we can start. Is that okay? Can you all see this?
Yes, we can see.
All right. So I hope everyone is feeling well today. We are hearing and seeing some really interesting stuff and information about this whole deal. And our part is a bit more soft, as it seems. And we're going to delve into the concept of soft skills and the emerging need and significance of soft skills in SMEs. So let me just forward this. Okay, so by definition, the green economy is defined as covering goods and services produced either to protect the environment or to save resources. And green employment is the employment involved in the production of these goods and services. And this is where the soft skills enter. There is a rising need in the use of soft skills, and up to now, they were a bit misunderstood. So just imagine how would you feel if you could enter a working place and you can instantly see, hear, and feel and sense who is really working, who is really adapting to the changes, who is important for your business. And this is not just for businesses, this is also for everything in life. Imagine how helpful would it be to be working in a self-evolving environment with people that are wired to success, that are able to apply practices and not only to sustain business, but also promote it in ways that you've never even thought before. So what are soft skills and why do we call them soft skills and not something else? So it's the opposite of hard skills, and hard skills are the skills needed to perform an art or a service or a business. So like physics, like mechanics, math, chemistry, or anything. These are hard skills. The soft skills are all the in between. So these are the skills that give depth in a character. So all human behavior is set around socialization, and this is important on and off business environments. So the problem with not applying soft skills up to now is that, especially in SMEs, is that they are the first to be hit by economic crisis. So we've seen it more and more times. Each time there is economic crisis, the SMEs are the first to be hit by it. And this is because of, let's say, a lack of being able to adapt to the changes. And this is where soft skills enter, because there are many ways that they can be utilized in order to help in this adoption. Especially even in the technology sector, most researchers find the research obsolete before they even finish it, because technology is really fast pacing. So this is a big challenge for SMEs. There are three main factors that you can use soft skills, either for yourself, for interpersonal communication, and leadership skills. And there are many. We could talk about hundreds of different soft skills that you can utilize. Today we are just going to delve a bit into these skills and see how you can use them in your business. So soft skills that you can use for yourself are soft skills like reflective practice and time management, which are soft skills that you can use in order to assess yourself, evaluate your business, and use your time in an appropriate way so you can be productive. There is a high rise in effective use of linguistic skills, which means that anything you say, everything that comes out of your mouth is really important in terms of using it with your colleagues or with your clients. Stress management and emotional intelligence are really important, especially in these environments that are really fast-paced. Self-regulation and motivation, self-assessment, effective focusing, empathy. So this is really important. I'm sorry, I'm having a problem. 1 second, please. Can you all see me?
Yes.
All right, sorry for that. Okay, so there are two poles. The first one is the existing companies, and the second one is how we implement these skills in new companies. First of all, in existing companies, we need to implement soft skills on the business, either with the cooperation of vets or with actually training the trainers. So what you can have is a self-sustained environment where your businesses, where as an SME can have in-house trainers that can train themselves and then train others in soft skills. There are major benefits, major gains for that, which my co-presenter is going to introduce in a while. And in terms of interpersonal soft skills, there is there is a high need in negotiation, persuasion, and influencing skills. Also in team working and coaching skills, and also skills in motivating others or creating a motivational environment. And also about leadership skills, there is a high need for change management, especially in these changing environments. It's really important because you need to be able to adapt to the changes. So you can have upper management doing this, and also your base level line that does this. Problem solving and decision making, effective speaking, strategic thinking, learning styles again, and empathy. I am going to pass over to my colleague now, so he can continue with the presentation, and we'll be back. Konstantinos.
Yes, I'm going to present you the major gains derived from the implementation of soft skills. Since soft skills are of primary importance to labor market outcomes, since soft skills are of primary importance just give me a minute. So I'm going to present you the major gains derived from the implementation of soft skills. Since soft skills are of primary importance to labor market outcomes, favoring individual chances of employment, success in the workplace, and creative outputs. The implementation of these skills can be led to monetary gain as a result of the huge cost cutting, the optimized financial growth, the increasing sales, and the high clientele retention. All the above factors are of considerable significance for the enterprise sustainability. Furthermore, the implementation of soft skills can provide a manager or an employer with powerful negotiation skills and the chance of becoming inspiring leaders for their employees. The aforementioned attributes can form a positive work environment, stimulating the workforce self-motivation. Also, the implementation of soft skills can definitely change and create a revolutionary mindset. Specifically, these skills have beneficial effects on unlocking one's mind and then grasping pioneering ideas. Moreover, one's self-determination and zest for knowledge can positively be influenced when training is soft skills or training or learning new skills in general. To sum up, the soft skills are personal qualities that regulate emotion, behavior, and cognition, enabling us to achieve our goals. In the next slides, I would like to present you a small number of scientific papers revolving around the significance of soft skills of the VET and the neuroscience, and how learning people new skills affect the brain's functioning and hence their behavior. Finally, I would like to thank you for your time and for your attendance.
Thank you very much for your presentation. It was really interesting to see the importance of the development of skills in today's society and business environment. Carina, do you have any questions from the audience for our speakers?
No, we don't have any questions at the moment.
Okay, perfect. So Thank you very much. With that, we have concluded our webinar. I hope you found this webinar insightful. If you want to know more about our project, you may find some interesting material on our website. Also, feel free to contact us for any questions that may arise after our webinar. There's a special section on our website where you can send us your message and we can reply as soon as possible. And we really hope to see you on our next webinars in the upcoming days. Thank you once again for your participation. Carina, would you like to add something?
Yes, please. For our conclusion, we will ask you now for your feedback, and we have 2 little activities for you here. Please don't leave yet. I will just share my screen. So you should now see my presentation. You can scan the QR code or use the code. I will send it also in the link and the code in the chat. And we would like to ask you what your takeaway from today's webinar is. So please be so kind and join the Menti. You don't need to register. If you use the QR code, you should be directly in our slide where we ask you what you think about today's webinar. We'll just give you a few more seconds to scan and to use the link and the code. You can see there are already some answers. Give you a few more seconds. So let's see. Okay, we have one answer already. Now there the answers are coming in. So you learned a lot of new things. You like the ideas, the sustainability, the green future. You think it's very informative. Also the new inspiring tools. The SDGs, so the Sustainable Development Goals. We can see green future and sustainability, they grow because multiple persons have put it in. The importance of soft skills. See, let's give it a few more minutes. Okay, yes, everything that we heard today has also an impact on our quality of our lives. The sustainability should improve. Yes, there are solutions to climate change. We need to adapt. Yes, very good. Innovation is a good keyword here. Good practices. We had a lot of them today. Should analyze the current practice. Sustainability in education is very important. Let's see. I would give you one more minute, maybe. Okay, I think nothing else is changing. So thank you so much. Oh, sorry, I was too quick now. Let's see, what is new? We learned a lot of new things, new inspiring tools. Yes, and interesting ideas. Okay, thank you all so much. I'll just jump back to my presentation because this was just a quick feedback. Here is another feedback, which we also ask you to please complete. I will put the link in the chat as well. This is just a quick Google form where we ask you what we can make better for the next time, because as you know, there are 3 more webinars planned in the next weeks. So please go ahead, complete the platform. And yeah, we will see you next time. Thank you so much, everyone.